We got it. All right. Third time's a charm. Here we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Christopher Irizarry. I'm candidate for Congressional District 12. And like many of you, I am celebrating what transpired. Jimmy Kimmel made his return after a short suspension to late night television. This was something that needs to be celebrated because it's not only a victory for the First Amendment, but it also shows what happens when the people act together, when they stand up, when they act in solidarity, when they say no to an authoritarian, the people prevail. First Amendment is still first. I also suspect that the rollback of this suspension is going to give any industry, organization, company a moment of pause when they are asked by the administration to further their aspirations to clamp down on somebody just making an honest criticism. So what I'm going to be referring to, now that I've said the what and the so what, I'm going to be talking about the now what. I'm going to be drawing off a timeline that was illustrated by the Free Speech Center at Middle Tennessee State University. They did an excellent summary as to what transpired up to Kimmel's return. I would highly recommend you check it out. To the people at the Free Speech Center, great work. Keep up the fight. Now, the article outlines what transpired on September 17th when Brendan Carr, head of the FCC, said ABC should take steps against Kimmel. This is when he made the comment, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way," a clear violation of the First Amendment. What I want to refer to next is what's happened on September 18th. Democratic Representative Swalwell made the comment that anybody who was involved with the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel, he gave them fair warning, get your lawyers and secure all your documents. What I believe is that Representative Swalwell was letting everybody know that as of September 18th, he knew that he had an excellent case to bring RICO charges against individuals based on deprivation of rights. Now, follow me here. I'm not a lawyer, but follow me on this. What I believe the article actually illustrates beyond the timeline is the inner circle who have the ideas and have the ambitions to get Kimmel suppressed. You have those who are on the outer ring who aren't where the decisions are made, but are high-level enablers. And then you have the outer ring populated by low-level enablers who do not have the cover of those that are further inside the concentric circles. What I believe Eric Swalwell is betting on is that there are people who knew it was wrong, who knew it was going to be a problem as far as the First Amendment, and who knew that they were vulnerable. Swalwell is looking to pressure the low-level enablers who can't do a year for deprivation of rights in a RICO Act, which is the maximum penalty. Swalwell is betting that many of those low-level enablers were also people who were keeping their documents, making sure they had the who, what, where, when, and why of what they did and how they can prove it. They've kept all that stuff. What I believe he's doing, he's going to gather evidence, jump from one concentric circle to the inner one, because eventually he's going to find in those levels people who made an effort to cover it up. This is where it takes a different turn. This then becomes a RICO investigation into conspiracy. That is a whole different ballgame, and I don't care how far up the chain you are, you can't do the maximum sentence for that, which just happens to be 20 years. In the meantime, the drip of the details that's going to be constantly coming out with every single news cycle is going to tank stocks. And eventually, somebody is going to be given up at some level of the organization because the effort to protect them is not going to be worth it. That's how it's going to play out. And me, when I'm in that Congress, I am going to be the signatory of every single investigation that happens. There is going to be a reckoning. And anybody who said, I was only thinking of the shareholders, this was strictly business, clearly needs to take a look at their history. I would start with Nuremberg trials if I were you. That's all I have to say. Great victory for the First Amendment. I'm just really thrilled about this. Thank you all for listening. Please go to ChristopherChange.com to support our campaign. We can do this. Looking forward to seeing you all out there on the trail. Take care. Now, I don't want to say I told you so, but I did call the day before on Monday that I was hoping that Jimmy Kimmel would invoke the words, "so as I was saying." I had a dear friend of mine let me know earlier today that Kimmel did invoke that statement, or at least it was invoked in the title of the video that was presented. So I just want to thank my friend. She knows who she is.